So Manchester United pick up a draw against Liverpool yesterday night at Anfield, which is a pretty big thing considering that United have had a really bad form, like having four losses before the Manchester City game. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Manchester United and their players have this big game mentality thing that they always want to win big games. It's of course it's a big mentality thing as well because looking at the players and looking at how Amarim wants the deadwood out of the team. Everyone knows that, not everyone, but particularly those those Zergzis or those maybe Hoylands, all those guys know because it could be the last season if they don't put up a great show, because we've already gotten rumors about Zergzi moving to Juventus or a loan deal with an obligation to buy. So um, it's pretty obvious that those United players, would want to show some sort of emotion to play, or some, Lisandro Martinez, as Lisandro Martinez said yesterday night in his interview, that it's all about the mind. You need to put where your heart is and where your mind is. You need to use both those things together and to make it work. You need passion from those players, and you need a lot of mind work too. I mean, United, not it's not just United. I mean, the current meta in the Premier League is just direct football or direct play. It's just moving up forward and keeping the ball going forward constantly and not really thinking that much about possession. And considering that teams aren't playing in those in those particular middle areas of the pitch this season, that's because, well, of course, as mentioned before in my previous videos, that teams are preferring to play a 4-4-2 out of possession because they'll create a narrow four line to block out the ball which is trying to move through them. So they'll take to the wider areas, which is the fullback areas. So that's particularly the new meta. We did see Trent Alexander-Arnold struggling a lot, making a lot of those risky passes. What was completely different about Liverpool yesterday was they preferred to play a much more difficult or more dangerous passes than how they're used to. They don't usually make those difficult or dangerous passes. Like, you could have seen the first goal which Lisandro Martinez made with that amazing Bruno flick pass. Yeah, it was Trent Alexander-Arnold who pushed the ball away. He made it for a long pass. It was a very long pass to I think it was Gravenberch, and he was marked by I think Bruno Fernandes, and he took the ball up front and then passed it to Lisandro Martinez. You could see Alexander-Arnold making a lot of crucial mistakes last night, not covering Trent. I mean, Alexander-Arnold not covering Martinez, and not covering Bruno Fernandes as well, and making a lot of costly passes as well. Yeah, there was a second counter as well, because United are a counter pressing team. I mean, they aren't exactly a counter pressing team, but that's how they're playing because they're a team in development. So both of the teams are, because Liverpool did make costly mistakes as well. Even in the first game against United in the first half of the season, where they lost 3-0 against Liverpool at home at Old Trafford. So even those games, United tried to score a lot of goals directly, and they've always tried to be that counter-attacking team or that counter-pressing team, because they know that's how they're going to get the ball on their hands, because they can't just snatch the ball from big teams like City, Tottenham, Arsenal, or even Liverpool, any of these teams. So it's pretty obvious for United. They're gonna have to look for a chance to counter and then take the ball forward to directly score. That's why Ten Hag also said in a lot of his interviews that he wants to make Manchester United the most transitional team as possible. And considering that the players that Manchester United had bought in for Eric Ten Hag, those transitional players like Zirkzee, Hoyland, and etc., all those players, they're going to play in that transitional football, not like how Amram wants them to play. So coming down to how United should be in the future under Amarim, well, of course, there is a lot of rumors that United are looking to buy a lot of players, especially in those striker areas. We've got Manchester United is linked to Victor Gyökeres. They're also linked to recently Randall Kolo Muani, who's the striker for PSG. Two good, really high-profile strikers. I think that would be really good signings for Manchester United. But I honestly don't think the striker department needs a specific replacement at the moment. Manchester United should be looking at areas where they need to improve crucially, which is, I think, maybe the centre back areas, because last night we did see Matthias Delic make a couple of mistakes, the handball, then not being able to cover Cody Gakpo. Um, I mean, the back line, they really need to be really, really fast. So I think Manchester United are going to need a really quick centre back, somebody like I think maybe Antonio Silva from Benfica. He would be really good for Manchester United. Right-footed, really young Portuguese centre back. He's 19 years old, and he's really good captain material as well, which I think Manchester United do need at the moment, since we could be seeing Bruno Fernandes leaving the club pretty soon, or maybe when his contract ends. We're gonna have to look at when that happens. So considering that, we also need to look at the left wing back area, which is let me get to that first. Yeah. So the wing back or the full back like has completely changed this season. The meta for football, it's is completely different now. The meta for this fullback thing is like you need your when Pep came into this whole Premier League thing, or whenever he did manage Bayern or Barcelona, he had this thing. He created this thing that the fullbacks need to always invert. Inverting is basically like moving your fullbacks into the midfield areas so that you can have more control in possession in the middle areas of the pitch. That's where he wanted to dominate the game in the middle areas of the section of the game. So that's where you could dominate and make those crucial passes up forward, or maybe make those tackles that is needed, because of course a defender could make a really good tackle as well, right? Depending on the attributes. But now the meta has currently changed. I mean, looking at teams like Chelsea, you have to look at Malo Gusto. You have to look at uh, Kyle Walker. I mean, he's not playing, of course, currently for City, but yeah, but these players are preferred more in the market than those inverting fullbacks, and it's very difficult to get those inverting fullbacks, to play in the current meta, because as I said before, playing in the middle of areas of the pitch is very difficult, because it's very, very congested in the current season of the Premier League, or even at the Europe's top stages. That's because teams are of course putting the most pressure in the middle areas of the pitch. So you'll need your wing backs and your wingers to make those attacking runs, or the most crucial runs, or make those inside cutting inside edges, or like run through the insides to get those goals, or maybe get assists. Even in Amorim's Sporting, you could see a lot of those fullbacks or wingbacks taking a lot of assists and goals. But for Manchester United, Dalot and Mazraoui have not been doing it for them, because they've not got those assist caliber, goal caliber threats. You're gonna need good wing backs to score, at least one, not just two. I think Manchester United would definitely need to strengthen one area of the wing back. I mean, they've already got two good right wing backs. They've got two left wing backs as well, but Luke Shaw is obviously constantly injured. But um, having said that, Manchester United should look into this prospect, or this guy called Miguel Gutierrez from Girona. He's got really good numbers. He could make those really decisive inverted runs, or even make those fullback esque, the proper traditional fullback esque runs. Not being able to be stopped by other teams. So I think Miguel Gutierrez is a really good shout out to Manchester United, who should be looking out for them. And who else? I think there's a lot of good other left backs in the market, or left wing backs, but again, since the meta has converted every wing back or left back to those inverted esque, formation or the tactic, it's very difficult to find those left wing back or left full backs. It's pretty difficult, and investing in midfielders, I think that's going to be very crucial. I think you're going to need a good Kobe Mano replacement. Let's be honest, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, Kobe Mano is looking very tired and out of the game. We saw it yesterday. He was very tired as well. Gonna need a good Ugarte replacement as well, because he's improving game by game. I think he's gonna improve really well. A good shout to Ugarte would be N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante would be a really good shout for Manchester United and would suit really well for the team. I mean, yeah, he's pretty old, but like it's a very short-term replacement because he's got those attributes to make those decisive passes through anywhere on the pitch and make good tackles as well and like stop the ball. So all I'm saying is that Manchester United need a Rodri-esque player who could make those crucial tackles and like maybe you know pass the ball around as well. You need a central defensive midfielder or a central midfielder like that, somebody who can play on the 6 and the 8 role both. So that's what Manchester United should be looking for, and somebody who's really good out of possession and in possession as well. That's what Manchester United should be aiming for. And possibly maybe not this winter transfer window, but maybe in the summer, because there is no sale currently at the moment, and Manchester United are of course were of course threatened by relegation before this Liverpool game. But I think it's a little unrealistic. It's not. It's not. It's not like unrealistic, but it's debatable. Like you can talk about, it's something that you can imagine Manchester United getting relegated, but it's not going to become a reality. Let's be honest. It's Manchester United. They can always make a comeback, but with a comeback you need a squad which is enthusiastic, a squad which is ready to fire at all cylinders when needed, like how yesterday, because everyone knew it could be their possible last game for Manchester United, in the red t-shirt that they're wearing, because it's very, it's Amorim. Well, Amorim is the type of manager who's someone who is not afraid to take players out of the team. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, Manchester United need to sign some players either in January by making sales like Christian Eriksen or Casemiro or maybe Victor Lindelof. But yeah, that's about it. Think that should be it about Manchester United. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.